both Central and South Zone. During this period, he also edited Martha in Hindi. Since 2010, he lives in Vrindavan. He has passed Bhakti Shastri, completed teacher training course, and zonal supervisor course offered by GVC College. He was also a member of erstwhile Indian Regional Governing Body and is a member of ISKCON India Advisory Council. Since inception, due to his tireless preaching in Angul area of Odisha, and ISKCON Center was established there in the year 2010. A temple project is now taking shape and rapidly developing under his guidance. His Holiness continues to travel and preach all over India. सर, मैं केंद्रीय कृषि विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से आपका इस कार्यक्रम में हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं और इस विश्वविद्यालय के छात्रों से अनुरोध करता हूं कि स्वामी जी का जो है पुष्पगुच्छ और साल से स्वागत करें। Please keep the mobile in silent mode.
Hare Krishna. So I would like to thank all the staff and students of College of PG Studies in Agriculture to give me this opportunity in life. And that was the subject given to me. It is very short. Still, we'll discuss something about happiness in life and how to achieve it. Generally, when we speak about happiness, we generally mean material happiness. Material happiness means it is related to matter or material body. So, material body is so this material happiness specifically. Then second thing is sleeping. We want to sleep in a nice place with a nice attitude. And third thing, to have sex life. And we also derive some happiness from sex life. And fourth thing is to defend oneself, mean one's protection. So generally we think these are the four things to attain in life, and if we attain this, then our life is successful. But then we see that because we are not educated, how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex life, and how to defend oneself, then we do whatever we desire, and then we end up in miseries. So, one thing which was giving happiness for a short time, then it gives miseries later on. So, this is the material happiness condition. We are mainly relating everything to the body, but we forget that who is sitting in the body, we don't know about that. Generally, we see that when a person dies, throughout what is our real identity? That means the owner of the body is someone else. That means Actually, we are not this body. So, the body, and because of the presence of that entity, the body was functioning. And when he leaves the body, material body, then the body does not function. And then what do we do? Either we burn the body, or we engrave the body, or do whatever way we like according to our faith, and then body is dismantled. But then this gives us a question that who was actually living within that body, and by its living the body was functioning. So actually this is the spirit which is beyond this matter, because the body is made of some matters: earth, water, fire, ether and air, 5 material elements. So the body is meant of that. And when the living entity leaves the body, then the body becomes dead. Whatever we try to enjoy, at the end, that ends in misery. Suppose I will give one example. Like the students of economics, they know the law of diminishing marginal about enjoyment will diminish again more. When you come to 5th, then you may want not to eat any more rasgulla. But if give him some happiness or please him, and throw out that rasgulla. Because the same rasgulla was giving happiness in the beginning, now it has become a cause of distress. And if you take more, then also you may get some disease. Your stomach will be upset. When you overeat something, then the stomach will be upset. So this is the nature of material enjoyment. That's why whatever enjoyment in this, we end up in misery when we do too much. That's why the regulations are there. And the regulations are there for human beings, not for animals. When human beings try to enjoy like animals, then they will not be in the platform of human being. And they will suffer, naturally they will suffer. That's why there are some regulations for the human beings. How to enjoy life, understanding that this living entity, which is spiritual, it resides in this body, and instead of giving happiness to the spirit soul, we are trying to give happiness to the material body. But actually the enjoyer is the spirit soul, who is living within the body. So we forget about that. We always do things on the basis of this material body. But if we understand and regulate our life, though we have a material body, we have to eat, sleep, mate and defend. That is natural. But we do it in a regulated way. Even for foodstuffs, there are different kinds of foodstuffs. It has been stated that this material nature is actually in 3 modes: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So the living entities, they are sex life, taste for sleeping, and depending, all these things will differ. That's why we see there are so many differences between human beings. So the idea is to elevate ourselves to the platform of mode of goodness. Because in the mode of goodness, one can really become happy. Because the nature of a person who is in the mode of goodness, he is very peaceful. He is very truthful. He is very compassionate to other living entities. And he is very knowledgeable. And he finds pleasure in both, whether it is a miserable situation or a pleasurable situation. In both situations, he is not affected. So that is the nature of a person who is in the mode of goodness. And a person who is in the mode of passion, he has so many desires to fulfill, unlimited desires. And to fulfill those desires, material desires, he works very hard. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So that person works very hard to fulfill his desires, and sometimes he is successful and sometimes he is not successful. When he is successful, he feels very happy, and when he is not successful, he feels very unhappy or demoralized. So that is the nature of a person in the mode of passion. By pleasure and pains. And another person who is in the mode of ignorance, he is in great illusion. Even he is suffering in life, but he thinks, no, this is okay, this is good, because he is also. So it has been described that the person who is in the mode of goodness, he sleeps up to 6 hours. Whatever we don't discriminate. That's why what happens when we eat some, all the chemicals, there are more people, they are getting cancer. The way what you are eating, the oil, the food grains, the vegetables, the fruits, then we get so many different types of diseases. And now mostly we see that anyone goes to the hospital, later on he finds out that he is affected by cancer. So this is because of our food habit. If we change our food habit, that's why now it is necessary for all of you, because you are in agricultural field, how to grow more foodstuffs, more vegetables in the organic field. And the farmers, those who are doing that from the very beginning, have to encourage them to do that. Then we can produce food grains and vegetables. So then we can become healthier by eating those foodstuffs. Actually, food is meant to make us healthy, strong. If we eat food which gives us disease, which doesn't make us healthy, then what is the use of eating that food? So, only for taste we cannot sacrifice our life. That's why we have to be very careful what we are eating. And what we eat, our consciousness will be also developed accordingly. If we eat foodstuff in the mode of goodness, mode of ignorance. One time I was going to Fiji, so I was passing through Seoul airport in South Korea, and I was sitting on the flight, that was a night flight, and I was taking some fruits only, but there are South Korean students who were there in that flight, and they were serving South Korean foodstuff. And so much bad smell was coming from that foodstuff, I could not tolerate. I felt like vomiting. Eating it and enjoying. That was their delicacy. I found out and that is not even cooked even, and they are enjoying foodstuff. So it differs from person to person in which mode they are. So we have, if we want to become happy in life, we have to choose our foodstuff. Nowadays, many people, they are more into this organic foodstuff. They are growing organic foodstuff. Also in the market, it is available. But now we should make it available plenty, so people, everyone can get that type of foodstuff, and they remain healthy. Night is not meant to remain awake. And morning time is best for spiritual meditation. So one should go to sleep by 9 or 9:30, get up 3 or 3:30. That is the best sleeping time. One can get good rest and remain healthy. Like in English also they say, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we have to go to bed early and get up early. And morning time is best for spiritual things. One can do meditation, yoga, whatever, or even chanting the name of God. So many different things can be done. And that makes our mind very peaceful, and our day starts with some auspiciousness. So the sleeping habit has to be changed if we actually want to remain happy. And by that, even we can be free from diseases if our sleeping habit is okay. And then also, mating habit means sex life. Generally nowadays, in the name of advancement, that's why there is also a regulation in the sex life. that one has to have sex only with his legitimate wife, not with anyone else, or legitimate husband. Then actually society will remain peaceful. And everyone will remain peaceful in their family life also. Because family life is being spoiled by these illicit activities. So if we can avoid that, then we can become happy at least in life. And also defending ourselves. Life. But we know that in this material world, things are unpredictable. It is not in our hands. We may think something to do, but it may not happen. So, we have to depend on the Supreme Creator, Supreme Lord, who has created this material world, who has created all of us, all the living entities, 84 lakh species of life. And the Supreme Creator has also made rules and regulations for human beings. So by which the human beings can become happy. But we don't know the rules and regulations of the Supreme Lord. That's why we act according to our own whims and we suffer. And in the material world, it is actually a place of suffering. Though we are trying in so many ways to become happy, but we end up in suffering. Eating habits, sleeping habits, and mating habits. So at least if we can do these things, to some extent, we can live happily at least in this lifetime and make our human life successful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for enlightening the house on happiness, then goodness, ignorance, and also on the organic farming. As we all know, the indiscriminate, unjudicious use of the agrochemicals has led to many diseases among the human beings, animals, and the water bodies also. Also, it has polluted the environment. So, sir, on behalf of the organizers, that is our Vidyarthi Nidhi, then Central Agriculture University, ICR Research Complex for ADH Region, umlam Meghalaya, and Assam Agriculture University, Jorat, I would like to thank you for blessing all of us in this Agri Region 2024. I would like to request the students if they would like to have some questions or questions for fun.